Okay, everybody, welcome back. I'm getting a little bit more used to the cold now. It's not as bad. Still got the coat on, but I think it's going to be okay. I started working on the igloo a little bit. Hopefully have some progress on that for you guys by Monday. I'm going to try to move inside, be a little bit more comfortable there. But anyway, let's talk about what you guys are going to be doing. So the next unit we're going to be working on is the space race, okay? That is Unit 8E, Subunit 2, Lesson 1. You can go to that and amplify. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to actually share the screen with you here so that we can watch a little video that they've got. I'm absolutely certain that this is against the rules and I'm breaking the law with copyright infringement, but don't tell anybody.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What would you say if you were the first man on the moon?
I would look back at the Earth and I would say, "Take that, Sputnik."
Real mature.
What?
You're just upset because the Russians have been ahead of us every step of the way. I mean, first there was Sputnik, the first man-made object to enter Earth's orbit. Then there was the Lunar Probe 2, the first probe to land on the moon. Then there's Yuri Gagarin, the first man to enter Earth's orbit.
Yeah, well, after today, everyone's gonna know about Buzz Aldrin, the first man on the moon.
No, they're gonna know about Neil Armstrong, the first man to step foot on the moon.
No way, I called it first.
Rock, paper, scissors for it?
You're on.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot!
One giant leap for mankind. Sorry, Buzz. Moon rock beats paper.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Okay, so that's the video there. Obviously what we're talking about is it's called the space race, all right? And it's basically us against the Russians trying to get into space the first, right? Because we are competitive, for lack of a better term, and everybody wants to do things before somebody else has done it. It basically was trying to show the whole world that democracy and capitalism is a better system than communism and socialism. And we could prove that because if we made it to space first, and that was our scientific achievement, that we were better than they were. So that was the whole premise behind this, and it was these two countries just kind of flexing at one another the whole time. Your guys' assignment is in Amplify right after that. There's a number of slides to go through, and you can look at some pictures and write some comments. I'm going to assign it all in Google Classroom so that all you have to basically do is just fill out the little forms there, right? Talk about what you see. There are some significant differences in the pictures. I've gone through them. And then what we're going to do after that is basically continue on exploring what was going on. What was the national sentiment? What were people saying about it? Did people think that America was something special because they had achieved something that the Russians hadn't? You know, we go back in our own history and we always think that we're the best at everything. But the reality was, just like that video showed, the Russians were ahead of us in a number of steps. Sometimes people have accused them of faking it, right? This didn't actually happen this way. Some people, of course, here in America will theorize that we didn't land on the moon and that was all done in a Hollywood basement. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that people like to come up with reasons that things may or may not be true. Our job, of course, as intelligent and educated readers is to know how to find the difference between the lies and the truth. So I want you to look back at these various documents that we've got, look at the pictures, and just kind of talk about what you see there, what you think is going on. I'm going to go ahead and go through your guys' comments. I'll kind of leave it open as a discussion board on Google Classrooms. So if you guys want to go ahead and kind of talk back and forth a little bit about it, that sounds good to me. So check in Google Classrooms. You're going to see a number of different assignments posted that are directly out of Amplify. Now, in addition to this, another thing I really want you guys to do is make sure you're doing the vocab every day. I mean, you've got lots of spare time on your hands, and learning new words so that you can sound more intelligent is going to be helpful. Again, I just don't want you guys to slide backwards. The reality is if we don't do something with our brains over this next few months, we're going to feel the difference when it comes time for freshman year here in 5-6 months. So I just want you guys to be ready for that. If there's any other... Okay, class. So we're going to go ahead and go to the third slide here, and we're going to talk about what it's got on there. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you the question, and you guys out there in the audience can come right back at me. So I'm going to share my screen here real fast. All right, so here we are. We're on tab number 4 right here. Got this article to read, The Space Race, an Introduction. And then we go down, and the first question they've got is, why were people who knew about the V2 technology so valuable to both the United States and the Soviet Union after World War II? I remember back in the article here, the V2 rocket was what the Germans had built that allowed them to fire basically a projectile all the way to the edge of space. Why was that an important thing? Yes, no, you over there. No, that's absolutely wrong. No, that's no, terrible. Read it again. Okay, how about you over there? Okay, no, great. No, perfect. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Those of you that couldn't hear him, what he said was, okay, it does two things. First of all, it's a weapon. And if you've got the strongest weapons after the war, you're in charge, right? The man with the biggest stick wins. The other thing about this, though, is it was helpful to make sure that we were going to win the space race. Access to that information being out there above the planet, knowing everything that's going on, clearly that's a big strategic advantage. And so they wanted to get all those people in there. So good job over there. You got that one right. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the second question here real quickly. I'm going to share the screen. Second question we've got is, what was Sputnik and why was it an important part of the space race? You. Yeah, right, exactly. It was the Russian spacecraft that was launched out there. Good job on your first try there. Good to have you on the team here. All right, next one. Third question is, compare the relationship between the United States and the Soviet Union at the beginning and at the end of the space race. Now, this is kind of a little bit more thought-provoking question here because our attitude changed a fair bit on this. And so let's actually talk about what went on there and what we did, okay? So there's the third question right there. Okay, so the third question is talking about the relationship between the United States and Russia at the beginning and at the end of this whole event. And that relationship changed a lot. So that's one I actually want you guys to put a little bit of thought into and actually answer it. Okay, and so that's the first tab. You've got those three questions. And then obviously we've got a total of five tabs on that section. And then we've got another slide after that. So go ahead and do all the stuff that is assigned, but I just kind of wanted to give you a framework of what I'm hoping you guys can get done. So anyway, enjoy the rest of that lesson. Learn a little bit about what happened between the United States and Russia. I'll go through it. We'll talk about this a little bit more in tomorrow's video. Okay, that'll be it for today. You guys do what you can. Be safe. Have fun. And I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.